Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sidney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych Club from the Tom Numbers Show, News of Tom Numbers, and top of your game. And I've got a little bit of news to share with my buddy Matt Geiger from Midas Gold, our official sponsor of the show. How are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good.
You have a very interesting segment coming up.
I do. This is very interesting. So people that watch the show, in recent shows, because I do this on my own sometimes, but I've been doing this with Matt because it's nice to it fits in nicely. So I like to decode the papers, news headlines, and I'll often show a newspaper. But the news can be from anywhere. It can be from social media, it can be from films, it could be even from history, something that's out there, and then we decode it. So last night, I see on Twitter I don't see all of it, I see the thing leading up to it. So there's this guy called Aaron Bushnell, and Bushnell is my last name, okay? And Aaron in numbers is 49, which is yes. And then Bushnell is 93. And anyway, but I don't know the guy's name till this morning because I see all this stuff on all these trending things on Twitter, on X. And I'm like, oh, Aaron Bushnell. Anyway, so people will know if you just look it up. But it's quite, impactful what has happened. So, but, we've been told that's happened. So, anyway. So the word fire is 38, which equals gold. The word burning is 85, which is silver. So Aaron Bushnell, yes, Bushnell. And I always do my shows with Matt from Midas Gold. So anyway, so I saw this on the headlines today when I woke up. So you'll see this. So look, it's trending. It was trending today. Aaron Bushnell. Now, how many views has that trend had when I took the screenshot, Matt?
1.43 million.
1.43. Okay. 143 equals November 5th. My cousin Paul, who's integral in all these numbers for me, and the reason I mention him is because it's where it started, but there's numbers behind his name. Paul Bushnell is 143. Ground Zero is 143. Building 7 is 143. Melania Trump is 143. Yes, November 5th is 192, which comes to Ivanka Marie Trump. And I met Ivanka 5 days before President Trump came down the escalators on the 167th day of the year. This guy, Aaron Bushnell, comes to 142, which comes to I am Nikola Tesla. But it also, if you do, and he's age 25, supposedly. 25 plus 142 comes to 167, which comes to the 167th day of the year, when Trump came down the escalators, 167. But 167 comes to 24. And what year are we in? 2024. And that post there says Aaron Bushnell, 1.43, 1.43 or 143 is November 5th. And if people have been paying attention, I keep talking about November 5th. I'm just saying we're in a matrix. Matrix is 85, which is silver, which is burning, which is awakening. It's all right before our eyes. And so I'm just saying. I'm just pointing stuff out. I'm like, so the thing is, with numbers, with Gematria, people say, oh, you can't make anything happen. You can't make anything out of anything. There can be lots of values for lots of numbers. And I am in a certain bandwidth of the Great Awakening. So that's why all these numbers come to me, all these inspirations, all these downloads, and then I figure it out with the numbers and I can piece it together. But when they hit it right on the head, i.e. Bushnell, how many Marines or how many soldiers are there? There's thousands of names to choose from, but oh yes, Bushnell. And what age did I turn just a few days ago? 49. 49 is yes, Aaron. Bushnell 49, yes, Bushnell.
49?
I just turned 49, yeah.
Get out of here.
I know. I'm a young chick. I'm a young looking. What did you think I was?
I thought you're like 39, 40.
Yeah, 39, 37, 30. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, yeah. I know.
Good for you, bro.
Thanks, bro. But there you go. I mean, so it's like what? And we were talking about Bushnell binoculars just the other day. You know, and it's like they're in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Missouri is 245. Currency revaluation. Thomas Sidney Bushnell 245. The pure love of Christ, the pure love of 77. Whatever, you know, it's just like, and Bushnell binoculars is on Cody Street. My family grew up on Cody Road. I didn't grow up, but my younger siblings did. In Farnborough. Farnborough's 125 time travel. Farnborough, Hampshire is 222, 1,000 years apiece. Winter White House. Wyndham, New Yorker, the Tesla Hotel for time travel. I am Nikola Tesla, 142. Aaron Bushnell, 142. It's like, it just goes on. And then the intersection of that road is, so it's on Cody Street, I think it is, in Kansas City, Missouri. So actually just on the other side, it's Kansas City, Kansas. But it's, you know, they're divided by that river, or the highway, it's there. And it's number 92, which is numbers. And then the intersecting road is 93rd Street, which is 93. And 93 plus 92 is 185, the silver reset, Donald John Trump. It just goes on. And it's also, 185 is also stock market crash, 185. So we know that's coming. And we've been saying it's coming this year in 24. And, you know, I'm just saying, people, if you do, okay, so I did some other stuff on this. So hang on, let's have a look at this. Bear with me a second, because I did all this just before we started. Where are we? Okay.
It's a good time to buy gold.
It's a great time to buy gold. Buy gold before the whole freaking thing falls to pieces. They're telling you, you know.
Our phones have been ringing off.
You know, if you don't, then you'll survive. Probably, I'm sure you'll survive. But if you want to actually just have a bit of comfort while the movie's going through the roller coaster, then get on it. Okay.
Maybe this event will happen sooner than we think.
See, that's the other thing. You see, so President Trump has always said about the RV, the currency revaluation. He said a level playing field. A level playing field is 176, which is Back to the Future, which is November the 5th. And then he says it will happen sooner than people think. And I'm like, most people don't think it's going to happen. Most people don't think it's going to happen then. But then I'm thinking, hang on, is he saying to me it's going to happen even earlier than I think? And maybe it does. And that would be amazing. And maybe 310, November 5th is the kind of culmination. I don't know. But it has to happen this year. It has to happen under Biden's watch. And they're talking about Biden getting replaced. It has to happen soon. I mean, if it's a 4-year delta, all the events of 2020 happened in March. We're stone throws away from March now. And it's like, I'm looking at, you know, March 4th, March 17th. These are significant possible dates and times. It's like, and when it goes, it will be like pulling a plug out. It'll be like flicking dominoes over. It will go really rapid. Think of how quick they even did it kindly. They gave everyone a 10-week kind of whispering, this is going to happen in 2020. And then when they decided, it was like basically 2 weeks and everyone, okay, before they did it. I think this will just go even quicker, you know? The market's dropped like a stone usually.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see some of the stuff happen with the dinar. I mean, I was never a big believer in that whole dinar stuff, but I've heard from some people that they've cashed in at like 4 to 1. You know,
they've actually done it.
According to some people that I know, they've actually done it. I think the problem, as we discussed last week, is that it's been finding the exchange to do it on. I don't know. It's not my territory, you know. I feel like gold and silver is really the place you want to be, because I feel like the new monetary system's already it's already set up, it's already in place, ready to go. And it's almost like a switch, and just boom, we're in the new system. Sure, things will have to balance out, and right, there might be some fallout from the old system, but I mean, like you said, we could be a lot closer than we actually think. I mean, who the hell knows? I don't know.
I know. It's just so peculiar. It's so peculiar. I found out what I was looking. It does make it makes sense that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So it's like, okay, when? All right. You know, you've been told to build an ark. No, it's at 38 gold. It's like, okay, get on the ark before it starts raining. Storms can happen quick. Storm is 85. You know, burning 85, silver 85, awakening 85, matrix 85. I was looking at this, and so if you do, because this guy was a military guy, the Pentagon addressed it. So Pentagon is 92, which is numbers, which is reverse, which is Manhattan. My numbers started to come to me when I was in Manhattan. I met Ivanka Trump. From that point on, I started to get numbers. And then it, boom, like I get them now in 2020. But if you do Aaron Bushnell, 142 plus Pentagon, 92, or numbers, comes to 234, which comes to, yes, stock market crash. And then there's also, I think there's a date or two maybe in there. And I'll let people look at that. Because maybe I'm thinking I don't want to put, you know, I'm like, just let people, I think it could, we've been saying this for a while, but it could be really close. It could be really close. So if you've been thinking about it, call Matt, give him a call, you know. He'll just help you, you know. You're not under obligation, but I'd get on that blower and just call him now, because when I get things like that, I get signs in my universe. And when I get something like that right on the nose, like Bushnell and the stuff around it, I'm like, okay, I can't ignore that. So that's why I put it out, you know.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't there a situation where a guy self-immolated, I don't know if that's the right word, but
yeah,
during Trump's presidency, remember that? There's a guy that walked across the White House lawn and self-immolated.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of rings a bell, actually, yeah.
I mean, that whole story is just bizarre.
It's bizarre.
It makes no sense. I mean, who would do?
No.
You know, I mean, certainly somebody with mental problems, but we've never seen stuff like that before, really. We've never seen that. I just feel like they do this stuff when they have their backs against the wall. I feel like I remember when the guy did it during Trump's presidency. I forget what was going on at the time, but it seemed like Trump had these guys with their backs against the wall, like he was pushing back at them.
Yeah.
And right now, you know, they're getting a lot of pushback. Then they go do this with some guy lighting himself on. I mean, it's very disturbing when you think it's a very disturbing type of story. It's the type of thing you see, and you're just like, it sets something off inside of you. You know, it's like, it's horrific.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they do this stuff, right? Because the whole idea of their control is through fear, right? Yeah. Fear is a way that they can put you into a state of hypnosis. Yeah. So when you see stories like that, it puts people back in a state of fear. It's almost like their way of keeping people in the state of fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Totally. And the word heat, HEAT, is 34, which is leap. We're in a leap year, heat year. I said this a few months ago. So one of my favorite movies is Heat, the one by Michael Mann, who did Miami Vice, Don Johnson. You know, I actually spoke to him on the phone in 2016, trying to talk to him about, I think it was my script, or trying to get him to do it. No, to come on my show, because I just interviewed Michael Gambon. So I actually got through to him on the phone, and then he put me through to his PA, and that was about it. But so heat is that. But the funny thing, well, it is. So I didn't know this, but there's someone in Hollywood called Tom Numbers. And so my name came on the credits of the film Heat. And I'm like, hang on. And now we've just had this incident. I'm like, what the heck's going on? You know, this is so weird. What's going on? There was another thing I was going to mention about it. I can't remember what it was now. But it's bizarre. It's just really, really bizarre. It's just strange, and it's like, oh, I know what it was. So there's a friend of mine that I do shows with, Christian. He's an energy guy, energy chiropractor, and he always refers to the word boomerang. I've done a couple shows with him, so I go and see him. He does like this energetic chiropractor, and I feel a lot better with it. So I went to like a workshop thing at the weekend with him. Anyway, we're doing the last part, and he always refers to boomerang. I don't think he knows about you.
He really likes my podcast. No, I'm joking. Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. I think I might have said to him on the first one, or meant to, but he just brings it up, and he does. He in secret, he really likes your podcast, Matt. So, but he was lighting like a joss stick, fluorescent, kind of, just a fragrance in the room while we're doing the work, and he was lighting it, and I said to him on Sunday, which was the day of this event, but it doesn't seem to have kind of got out in the press until the last 24 hours. It didn't go over here until last night, now today. And I said to him, Firestar, and I said Prodigy, because of that song, and that's a song I grew up with and I liked, and we both, and then I'm like, that thing's just happened. I haven't spoken to him about it. I'm seeing him on Thursday, so I'll mention it, but it's just like, this is just really weird, but it's amazing. And it's like, and some of it's really quite just like what that event is. It's awful, but it's like, hang on, what the heck's going on? What the heck is going on? And it's, people will get this, they get synchronicities and thread weaving. I'm like, it points to me that this is not at all what we think it is.
Yeah. I think things are going to start coming off the rails.
Yeah.
I think it's going to become more and more obvious now as we move forward here.
Yeah.
The system's going to get more and more off the rails. Things are going to become, it's just, I feel like in these days, it's like everything's so in your face.
Yeah.
Just go watch a Joe Biden speech. Go look at him. I mean, even if you voted for the guy, which there's not many people who did, but even if you voted for, let's say you voted for.
No, there was a room of about, I think, 50 journalists, which were his ones, and, maybe 6 staff or something. So there was a lot of people that voted for him.
From what I heard Biden got 10 million votes.
Well, it's more than that's more than what. Yeah, I was just being facetious.
Yeah, that's what I legitimately heard. But it's like, you just watch a speech of his, and I mean, we don't take him seriously, right? None of your viewers take him seriously. So
I don't ever watch him.
It doesn't apply to this crowd. I don't even watch him either. I'm not, like, somebody gave me what was it, like a pencil sharpener of him bent over for Christmas, and I was like,
I think they've made him too friendly.
I just
think they've made Uncle Joe too nice, too.
I don't do the FJB. I don't do the FJB flags. To me, that stuff's stupid.
The which flags?
The FJB flags.
Oh, yeah.
People drive around with those, like, why waste your breath, man?
I know.
There's nothing. I don't take anything seriously anymore.
No, it's all a movie. It's all a movie.
It's a joke. Well, you actually introduced me to, we won't say her name, but you introduced me to a friend of yours who I had lunch with over the weekend on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about that. It was great because I have some like-minded friends who are kind of in her realm. Yeah. And I'm just kind of entering this space. I'm trying to figure out, okay, where's my role? What can I do? What can I, right?
Yeah.
But we sat down and she gave us an amazing understanding of, basically it came down to, we've been operating as a corporation since 1871, as you know, United States. But we've been operating under maritime law. And really the key is to get back to contract law. That's the way this country was founded. And there's so many, what I love about her is she has a solution. She's a solutions person.
Yeah.
So she's not sitting there, it's like, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, I go to these rallies, I do these get-togethers. It's all a waste of time. And it's nice in the sense of, like, you get to meet like-minded people, and but if anything, it's like we should be going to these rallies to recruit people to come on. Like, I want to do a class with her. I want to take her, put her on a stage somewhere and have 500 people in a room taking notes, because it's like, we can literally turn this thing around on a dime if we just had some of this education that she was throwing out at us. And I didn't even fully internalize all of it. I just got enough out of it to know, I'm like, you have some answers.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you look at a woman who I had on my podcast, if you go to my Boomerang podcast, Michelle Swinick, you'll see my interview with her. she's another one, solutions. Somebody who's not just complaining about the problem. She's sitting there saying, hey, I got the solution for this. You know, those are the people we need to like get in an auditorium, get 500, 1,000 people there, notebooks, taking notes, like, hey, here's what you can do right now.
Yeah.
Right. And get this whole thing turned around.
Yeah.
Because what it comes down to is we're all traded as bonds, right? We're all traded on the open market. Like your social security number is basically your bond number.
Yeah. And it's worth a lot of money.
And it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if you recognize that, you can step up and claim what you're owed on your bond.
Yeah.
That could be part of taking down the system.
Yeah.
Right. But in my view, there's only so much money to go around. So, you know, it's like a class action lawsuit. You're only going to get, you know, everybody gets $100, you know, like I see these stupid, you know, Verizon class action lawsuit stuff they want you to sign up for. It's like, I don't do it, obviously, but you know, yeah, in the end, you'll go through it, you know, maybe you have to fill out some paperwork, and then, you know, 6 years later, you get a check in the mail for, you know, $150. It's like, congratulations.
Whoopee cushion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think there's a lot more money, wealth, you know, whatever, than we know about. You know, I think a lot of it's been hidden, and a lot of it's been, because when they talk about on, you know, the birth certificate, I've heard, you know, in the regions of many, I've heard even maybe $1 billion plus, you know, I don't know. I haven't studied it. It's not my field, but if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, okay, then it comes down to everyone's well off, and it's like the air breathing. And then I think that's where I think that probably things like AI will come in. It's like they'll do things that are necessary, and then if people want to be, you know, do something practical because they love it and enjoy it, then they're welcome to do it. You know, then it's not a should, it's I'd like to. It's a totally different paradigm, and that's, I believe, what we're going into. And I just think there's so many surprises. I think so many things with this, even with synchronicities. It's just like, hang on, this keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again, thousands of times, you know, in a month. It's like, and I love it. But it points to me that it's, and I say this phrase a lot, it's not what we've been told on the tin. It's not a can of beans. It's something else. Yeah. This realm is something else. And it's really fun to discover it and be shown it. And there's so much more to learn and understand, but it's not what it appears to be. I don't know how else to express it, but it is not exactly what we're thinking it is. And there's there's an exciting potential beyond that. And I think that's a big part of what all of this is. It's like, it's almost like you can kind of, people say it, you can kind of create your own world through your mind.
Right.
And I'm getting streams of it. I'm getting beams. But once the whole torch comes up, like the whole, it's like, and it's far more, I've always believed in that. And I've had pieces of it prior to 2020, but it accelerated during 2020. And I get it all the time now. And I'm like, it's not what we think it is. It's something much more and better.
Yeah, but I think the challenge is, and you know, like here I am talking to your friend, people like Chelsea, your person. It's like the real challenge is getting everybody on the same page, right? Is getting everybody up to speed and knowledge. That's the challenging part. And how do you do that, right? How do you do it? It's like the type of thing that you need to learn at a young age so that it's ingrained in you as you get older.
Yeah.
Right. And we're all starting, you know, at least us, we're starting as adults to understand this stuff. And it's like, you know, your friend is talking about, you know, hey, if you get pulled over for speeding, the officer is somehow giving you like when they give you the ticket, they're then now trafficking you. So it becomes technically they're trafficking you.
Because it's a traffic cop.
Yeah, right. It's like trafficking you, and you could turn around, and because they're trafficking you, you can sue them for $1 million.
Yeah.
The whole thing's bizarre, and it's like, how do you? I don't even fully grasp it. I was just, you know, we were just talking about it over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's like, if you know, this is something where like you need to sit down in a classroom and learn this stuff.
Yes.
Like very important information.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you get this information into the minds of everybody so everybody's on that same page? It's very difficult to do. Maybe that's what part of this year, you know, 4 years where we're going to have to write reform the country. Maybe this is part of that 4 years where everybody needs to essentially go back to school, get the education and civics or whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
and basically relearn how to go about your life.
Yeah.
Mind blowing, really mind blowing stuff.
It is.
Thank you for that introduction. She was very interesting.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I thought, well, you know, you're in the same gin joint, you should know each other. So yeah.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I put her in touch with my group of people who are doing their own thing. So it's like we're forming this
good
cohesive group, you know, and I feel good about that, where it's like I'm linking these, and they knew who she was.
Okay.
So, and they had been trying to get in touch with her, but never were able to. And then you put the introduction out. Right. And I told them, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, hey, you know, you got to meet such and so. They're like, we've been trying to.
Oh, there you go. Good.
So yeah, so we had lunch at one of the golf courses over in Scottsdale. It was very nice.
Yeah, I've been there. I've the clock. Yeah, as soon as she pointed it out, I was like, I know that place. I know exactly where that is. When you're saying about how the job to educate everyone, and so there's that, and then there's all these other areas. And so one of the things obviously is online. So we've got the tools to be able to do that. But I also feel, and I think a lot of people in the audience watching can raise their hand and agree with this, is particularly since 2020 happened, I feel that we went through, for best kind of phrase I could put, like almost like a tractor beam, a particle beam, an energy field of change.
Yeah.
So while all this upheaval was going on, there was also simultaneously a really positive thing that was opened, or we went through, or released, because I was always open to things and I was looking for answers. But I know, because not until we reached that point was I ever going to get the things I was hoping for prior to that. And now, bit by bit by bit, but it's been feels like a new life, but it's been, I know that there was a certain marker in, I think I've heard people say, like a photon belt or whatever we went through, something physically changed. And so I feel that what you're talking about with educating people with these things, we've got the tools, people can do shows, but also I think there's a spiritual, conscious, osmotic effect happening right now. And so it's going through people's hearts and minds and souls, and people are coming together, and they're making connections, they're forming new alliances, and they're understanding new knowledge is coming. So I get my numbers, but that's not the only thing I get. It starts with the synchronicities, and my world is my teacher. And then I'm able to thread it with numbers and other things. And I'm looking forward to other quantum leaps, other jumps in understanding knowledge, and everybody else will be getting those as well. And so it's learning all these things, and also just being in the field. So when it's in the field, like if you declare your knowledge, your truth, which is what you're doing, what I'm doing, what she's doing, what others are doing, then people that are ready can get it, because it's formed, it's out there, and they just have to tap into it, and then they can go to a class or a physical thing and meet. But people, when they're ready, the teacher appears. And so it's because it's in the field. There's a field of consciousness, there's a field of knowledge. It's
what's happening to me. It's like I think I'm there, I'm getting there, and it's like these people disappeared in my life.
Yes.
Your person and the other people, they just appeared out of nowhere, and they're like, hey,
that's it.
And they just they pull you into that next level, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. That's it,
amazing
man.
Stuff. Amazing stuff.
It is. The quantum field is it's there. Yeah, it's there. It's the quantum 140, the military, the Trumps, the Tom numbers, the 140. It's there. There's physical things and there's non-tangibles, but they are tangible. You can feel them, you can sense them, you can, things are coming. And like you said, when people they're there, they appear. I mean, I've even seen your, like you said to me, this is feeling like it's all just kind of one big movie. But even the time we've known each other, I've seen your, for want of a better, like I've seen you jump up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I have, yeah. And it's been like a month or two.
Yeah.
With a month or two, it's like something's changed. Something's really changed.
Yeah,
for the better. For the better.
So it's an advance. You've upgraded. You've advanced. Yeah, which is brilliant, because you were ready. You were asking for it. You're like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
True.
It's very true. On a side note, Here's some cool stuff people can find. I got these on eBay. This is not something we really do too much, but collectible items. I know I said I was going to bring in some collectibles. I didn't do it today. We can do it next episode. I'll bring in the real stash, but these are some proof coins.
George Washington.
That's Carolyn Bessette.
Oh, is that Carolyn?
Yeah. So this came out in 1999.
It's John. Yeah.
Right. United States of America salutes you. And they did these both in John Jr. and Carolyn. There's only 50,000 of these made. I negotiated with an eBay seller. It's a proof coin. So like a Q proof. I call them Q proofs, the original Q proofs.
Yeah.
These online generally go for about $400. I've bought a bunch of these for $40 before everybody figured this out. But I negotiated this for about $155 with a seller. And that's what people can do. You can go online, you can negotiate with sellers. Here's another one. This is a coin from Liberia. This is done by the Washington Mint. And like I said, only 50,000 minted. It's $9.99 silver. This is from the Republic of Liberia.
Liberian girl.
Is the light screwed up?
Is that Diana?
No, that's
No,
John Jr. and his dad on a $half size.
Two faces, yeah, okay, yeah.
Two faces. And it's Republic of Liberia from 1999.
Liberian girl, Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, okay.
His birthday is comes to 261 in numbers when you do the what's the date? No, it's August 29th.
But these are items, if you go online, if you go on eBay, you can find these for sure, the Carolyn coins. They're just expensive. You might want to negotiate with the seller. Tell them I paid $155 from another seller. And if you want to get in touch, I actually know a guy who has some for sale, a coin shop that has them for sale. And I could work a deal for you.
Well, yeah, call Matt on the number. He'll work.
These are very hard to find. These are actually featured in the American Prophet videos. That imagery of the two faces.
Yeah.
It was the gold version. But just really, I think, great collectibles, stuff that, if you get an extra $200-300 lying around, get yourself one of these. It's a good buy. Yeah. Low mintage, very hard to find, right? Nostalgia factor, scarcity factor. That's kind of what I do with collectibles is I look for the scarcity factor, but I also look for the nostalgia factor. So anything Kennedy, right? Anything JFK Jr. I think I'm going to send, don't tell her, maybe she'll see this episode, but I'm going to give that one to Kellyanne. I gave her the junior one. This is the Carolyn Bessette. They do one with John's face on it too.
What was Caroline's? What was her middle name?
Find out.
Because my friend,
find out.
She does a lot on Caroline, and so I think it's Caroline Bessette Kennedy equals 261, or it's either Caroline's full name. But 261 is August 29th, which is the date of Diana. 261 is November 22nd, the date of Kennedy. Sorry, August 31st is Diana Day. August 29th is Michael Jackson, and August 29th is Judgment Day in Terminator.
It's Carolyn Jean Bessette, and Jean is Jeanne.
I think it's Caroline Bessette Kennedy. I'd have to do it, but one of the values for Caroline's name is 261, which comes to Mission Impossible Mask. Comes to United States of America, or the United States of America, the Project Looking Glass. 261 is November 22nd for JFK. August 31st is date of Diana. August 29th is the date in Terminator 2 for Judgment Day. So but the 261, and my friend that tells you about this with her full name's 261 as well. So it's interesting that and Liberian girl Michael Jackson. It's interesting you're showing those ones today, yeah, because there's the Kennedy connection directly with JFK, the Diana connection, the Carolyn connection, Michael Jackson connection. There's a 261 in all of them. Yeah.
I mean, I have clients where I'll recommend that they go buy, I had a client come to me and say, hey, we have cash. We want to get some gold and silver, but we also want, we want some input in terms of collectibles. So I advised them, I said, go buy Survival Guide to the Future. Go buy a George February 1997 magazine. I think it's a great buy. Even if you spend $2-3 grand on it, It's a great way to store the value. That's worth every penny.
Yeah.
That's a cool
It'll
coin.
go up.
I think so. I equate it to owning Van Gogh.
Yeah. Well, when they come back, then
My
touchdown.
stuff's not for sale though. I don't plan on selling any of it.
Well, there you go. You could create the when this is all said and done, you could create the museum. You could have like some of our shows together on like kind of holographic photo prints, you know.
Holographic Tom and Matt.
Yeah. And you have all your pictures and everything, and then be like, this is what happened. This is when they were decoding the matrix, and they helped us break through into this new paradigm of reality. And we're very grateful for our forefathers, Matt and Tom and others.
Yeah. I just want this country back, man. It's like, I hear about, what's possible and what can be done. It's like just getting out of this stupid system. The whole thing's a sham. We've been living a lie our whole lives.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's encouraging that it's coming. It's soon. It's definitely soon.
It is. That's the thing. Is we can feel it. It's there. There's so much evidence that it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And evidence in the other realms. So things like the consciousness, the synchronicities, numbers, coincidence, all these things, they're actually evidence. They're actual tangibles. It's like they're actually because of the repeatedness of them. And then other people experience them. It's like, actually, there'll be point, and I'm sure there's people that can do it now. They can measure consciousness. They can measure fields. That's the world we're going into. So all these things become, the non-tangibles become tangible, I
want to take these patriot groups that get together and like start putting a focus on them. Like start using it as a place to get together and do education, not sit around and talk about, complete nonsense, but talk about how, hey, here's what we can go do right now that's within our power to push back on these idiots, on these assholes, right?
Yeah.
Start using these get-togethers as opportunities for education and teaching people a new skill, a new set of knowledge, right? Rather than wasting time and just, sit there, Trump, it's like, the hell with that. Let's get together. And as your friend that you introduced me put it, the way she put it was, we're going to have to learn mercy for these people because of what we'll be capable of doing. And it's just music to my ears. We're going to have to be merciful on them in terms of what we can do to them.
Yes, the mercy seat. Everyone requires mercy, but the enemy. What was that phrase about Patton? Something along the lines of "May God have mercy on you, because I won't," or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We've got to sweep the floor. It's all got to go. All has to go. All has to go.
But get stuff like this, pick up Kennedy memorabilia. eBay is a great place to buy it. If any of your viewers want help, just call me. I'll find listings for you. I know sellers because I've been doing this stuff for so long. I have a seller that's got the set of these, John and Carolyn. I'm going to send this off to Kellyanne. She's not expecting it, but I'm going to complete her set. If you want any help in that stuff, and then obviously if you want just straight up gold and silver, right? Because this is obviously expensive silver. If you just want the straight up stuff, give me a call for that too, obviously. But if your viewers want any help locating items, I know some of the George issues that are still very reasonably priced that have communications in them. The one with the dog.
It's on your screen, but what's the number? Best way for people to call you, Matt? What's the number?
480-725-0536. Or you can just call Midas and ask for me. As I always tell you, I answer my own calls. I answer my own phone. Yeah, this is a time.
If it goes voicemail, just leave the name and number and I'll call you back. Yeah. So you can talk about collectibles. Just have a chat. Get advice on, he could do all of your 401k if that's what you wanted. He could do part of it, or some savings, or just some, collectible trinkets, whatever you want, really.
Easy peasy stuff. And if you want something cool in a budget range where you want me to go headhunt for a really cool collectible or something like that, just let me know. Give me a call. I'm happy. For me, it's just going online. I look it up, find something cool. I'll send you the link, and you'll be on your merry way.
Yeah.
You know, because I know everybody wants. It's almost like when you own stuff like this, it's like you feel a part of it. You know, you feel nice to have. You know, it's nice to have around. I have this stuff in display in my house. You know,
Yeah.
my house is nothing but, you know, stuff like this, old bills. You know, because I like it. I like being in the. You know, it feels good being in the presence.
Yeah.
It's the type of thing.
Well, the sort of stuff you would do anyway, even if no one was calling you, you'd still do it. So it's like it's a joy to share your knowledge and understanding and excitement with new people. So yeah, give them a call. Yeah. It's a unique advice. I did that on one of the shows. I said, you know, give Matt a call, but I said if you want some unique advice on it, a different take. People heard lots of stuff about that. You know, give him, because he's got a unique perspective and unique skill set with that, and he can also do the big stuff for you as well. So it's like building that relationship with him, and
I just like I had fun doing it, and it's like if somebody out there, like, I get nothing but requests for stuff like this.
Yeah,
and it's like if you just help somebody locate it, you know, negotiate the price of the seller. It's like most of these sellers don't even know what they have.
Yeah,
you know, and it belongs. And my feeling is that this stuff belongs in the hands of people like us and your viewers.
Patriots, yeah.
Those are the people that cherish it. Those are the people that are going to hold on to it, take care of it, appreciate it. You know, so give me a call. I'm happy to, you know, give me a call anytime during. If I don't answer, leave a message. You know, and whatever I can do, man. I have fun with it, and your viewers are awesome. You know, it's my people.
Yeah, just like the phrase, "Go where you're valued, not tolerated." Yeah, we could speak on behalf of the coins. So those memorabilia coins need to go where they're valued, not tolerated. You know, so if they're up for sale, they're being tolerated. They need to go to a home that values it.
I don't sell them. I buy them and I give them away.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying with you. So when people find them on eBay, they're obviously kind of in this. There's a part of a region of toleration. Maybe they value it, but also the toleration. Whereas it needs to jump into the hands of someone on the end of the screen that will value it and keep it and cherish it, and maybe they'll be able to bring it to your museum in a few years.
Exactly. The Matt Geiger and Tom Numbers Museum.
There you go. There you go. You know what? I've got a funny story. So I was in Deadwood, of all places, about 18 months ago in America. I ended up there. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's from the TV show Deadwood. It's a weird and unique place. It's got a really palpable vibe to it. Anyway, I was in the hotel at the top of the high street, and just across the way was what was it now? Deadwood Museum. And it's 76 Museum, that was it. And it was like, because I've forgotten the numbers on it, but it will come to, so it was all numbered out. So it was a 76ers museum, 76 museum. So museum, MUSEUM. That's it, yeah. So museum is 92 numbers. And then obviously I'm Thomas numbers, or Tom numbers. So Thomas was 76. And then we were in Deadwood, which was 71, which was Psych. And it was just like, I think I might have been here before. And then I did a show with Jade, and she's like, yeah, you did. And it was but it felt really weird. It was unique. I was there for a reason, but it was a strange place. But the museum, there you go. Museum, 92 numbers. 92 numbers. Pentagon, reverse Manhattan. The Matt Geiger and Tom Numbers Museum.
It's cool, because I got one of my survival guides, my February 97 issue. I'm getting signed by all the big names. So far I have Steve Bannon on it.
Yeah.
And I got Pastor Bob Joyce.
Yeah.
There's a couple other names I'd like to get. You could probably fill in the blanks of who. But I want them to write like to Matt, you know, like it's for me. And that's the one I'm going to frame, you know, put in like a fireproof frame or something. And
yeah. Well, when I see you, buddy, I'll sign for you.
Yeah, perfect.
It'll be there. You should sign it. The Matt Geiger and Tom Numbers, and then Bannon and all the others. There you go. That'd be like on the door.
It's Tom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they'll sign it for you, man. We'll all sign it. Yeah. And those that are coming back, We'll get them to sign it as well. Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want. But it's got to be personalized. It's got to be to Matt, you know?
Yeah. 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 To Matt.
Not
To
for
Matt.
sale. Not for sale. None of it.
You know what? The word Matt is 54, which is love, which is bonds, and then 2 TO is 35 bond. And who was the 35th president?
Kennedy.
JFK. Silver order. 1111. 126. John Connor.
It's all coming full
Atomic
circle.
silver, atomic gold. What's that?
It's all coming full circle.
It always does. Boomerang.
Boomerang.
The condor and they're always, always comes around. Well, my friend, that was a lot of fun. That was good stuff.
Thank you. Thanks as always. And I actually got to hop on call. I'm 3 minutes late.
Yeah,
we'll
it's
talk.
later again now, but...
I'll bring in some of the other stuff for the next episode this week.
Cool. All right,
go through some really awesome collector stuff. Some of your audience can do with a small budget, and they don't need me for it, but if they wanted help doing it, I could help them do it.
Just give you a shout. I know you've done it, but as we close off, what's the number again for you?
480-725-0536.
Sweet.
My direct line.
Good, man. We're going to get me a text, aren't we? A text number. We'll get that done as well.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. Some people might like that so they can get through to you. So
sure.
Good stuff, my man. I will see you soon.
Awesome, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Take care, bro. Cheers, Matt. Bye.